Hi there, folks, and welcome to Session 6 of Play Dicely. So there's a couple of things I want to touch on before we get into tonight's game. Firstly, this is a pre-recorded episode, so whether you're watching this on Twitch or YouTube, unfortunately this one isn't live, but if you're watching this on Twitch, it should be coming up at the same time that we usually do our live stream, and we'll be hanging out in the chat with you guys. The second thing I want to mention is that when we were doing the recording for this session, I was testing new audio, a new setup, and unfortunately this resulted in me not recording any of my own vocal audio. So, as we move into tonight's session, I'm going to be doing commentary over all the moments that I should have been talking. So, hopefully it's not too jarring of an experience. I'll be trying to say the exact things that I had said during that session, if not at least a close approximation. But we still caught all the players' audio, all the music, all the sound effects, so everything else should otherwise feel the same except for my own audio. And we didn't have any announcements in this session, so it's just saying thank you to Tabletop Audio for providing the music that we use in this live stream. And also, I've been using a lot of the music from Stream Deck, so thank you, Stream Deck, for your music and sound effects as well. So, let's move into the description for this session. What happened in the last session, it was that the party had left from the city of Starcross and had begun to make their way north in Sicramund, with the objective being heading to Valenbridge to learn more about the different issues that each of them have. But on their way, on the first night that they camped out in the desert, a druid by the name of Renan appeared to them and apologized for the method that they used to get them to help them, and also explained a bit about where the druids have been and this ritual that is supposed to be happening within the next year or two. Afterwards, a few days after, the party comes across the construction for this train construction, and so they went to investigate after encountering Arturian knights, one of which Gideon got a bit confrontational with. They went in and learned a bit more about the train, and then while they were doing that, the sky blacked out and the camp was under attack. And so the party returned and helped to defend the workers and aid the guards in their fight against these individuals who had suddenly attacked, and ended with quite a heated moment where Abe, in his barbarian rage, ripped a man in two. And that's pretty much where we left off from last time.
So Abe is just catatonic right now, right?
He is on the ground, limp. His eyes are completely dark. Yeah, he doesn't seem to be moving.
Now stay back from him.
Gideon
What
remembers
happened?
that. Oh, go ahead.
I mean, he ripped this man in half. He was about to attack you. Didn't you see that?
I mean, I guess so, but it's not him, right? It's something else happens in battle, right?
Yes. Something else happens in battle.
Well, that something else is in his body. It sleeps next to us in camp.
Yep.
Gideon, you haven't seen this side of him before?
Not as clearly as now.
I filled in Gideon on what I had seen a few nights ago. And, well, now you've seen it, my friend.
I get the worry now, Drac.
Indeed.
What had you seen a few nights ago?
The last time we were in combat and I had the pleasure of being close to Abe in that fight, I saw the darkness within him with the latent moments of my detect magic. Necromancy resides within this man. Azaria, you're well learned in the
Mhm.
practice of magic, if not the application. What do you know about necromancy?
I mean, it's a subject that is very polarizing within the community. I think there's a lot to say that it's, tends towards the evil and the, not so good, but it is at the end of the day, as most magic, a tool. In itself, very powerful magics that can be used for good, for saving lives, or necromantic spells. And you can hurt people just as well with illusions and conjurations and enchantments. It really comes down to the person using it. Although I don't think it's something that people should really dabble in if they can avoid.
I agree.
So it's about this time that the Arturian knight that the party had met previously comes over. And they thank them. Otherwise, if it wasn't for them being there, they would likely have lost a lot more people than they did.
Did you recognize these warriors, I guess? Or
No, they have no idea who these warriors are. But I got the itch for fighting out.
Good.
oh well, I'm happy for
That's
you.
good. I hope it doesn't come back.
Mm-hmm.
If it
Get
does,
a
if
punching bag or something.
you could go toe to toe with our friend on the ground here.
And speaking of, what happened to him? And what happened to that guy over there? Pointing to the man in two.
I just point
Well,
My
out.
understanding is
He
he
happened to
happened to him.
Okay.
Well, we
What
should
reason would
gather
people...
the dead.
Yeah, we should absolutely do that.
there be a reason for people to attack the construction here?
I would have pegged Balesville for attempting a stunt like this. There's been tension between them and the Ascendancy, but these just appear to be some random tribal folk.
I got a question. I'm from there, Balesville. What? I haven't been there in a few years now. What exactly is going on there?
Well, the Balesville and a lot of the smaller settlements think that the Ascendancy isn't providing proper leadership and is just sapping them for their resources. So there is talk of secession from the Ascendancy.
Well, why the hell would they want to do that?
Well, from what I've been told by brothers that have been stationed in Balesville, it's a lot to do with their resources being shipped elsewhere.
It is a farming and trading town, yeah.
Yeah, so that's about the gist of it. I mean, it feels like there's some weird stuff going on in Balesville. Tensions.
Sure, it's not the only thing.
But this group isn't from Balesville.
No, it doesn't look like it. As you kind of look at the bodies that have been left behind from the fight, these individuals appear to be like dressed in very basic clothing, like leathers, fur pelts. Like they appear kind of woven, or wolf furs, but it's very much a of the land type of outfit. They're outlanders of some kind.
Judging by the material their clothes are made from, could I judge what kind of a creature it came from, being a leather worker?
Sure. Go ahead and make me
Could I roll a leather worker tool check?
yes. Yeah, use your intelligence.
Okay. 9.
With a 9, you can't really tell what particular animal this came from. So as you're investigating the different bodies of the assailants, you notice that one of these individuals is different from the rest. And this is the masked figure that Nell had blasted with magic during the fight. And what you notice is that they are in a more civilized robe, and they have this mask covering their face that goes up into almost 5 points, kind of like a star or horns.
Okay.
Like a crown almost?
Yeah, you could say it's like a crown.
Could I ruffle through that individual's pockets?
Yeah. So when you do so, you find 5 gold pieces, and as well as a crumpled up piece of paper.
I take both.
So at this point, I get all the players to refer to Roll20 as I attempt to show them a handout of this note that Gideon has found. It's but for you guys, I can show it to you in the stream. I originally didn't have it here, but I was just having some technical issues.
Not yet.
No.
Not yet, sir.
You'll have to drag us over to the other thing.
Hmm.
If it's a handout, it should just show up.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Eventually it gets up here.
Oh, there we go.
Oh.
Yeah, there you go.
Oh.
And originally I didn't have a visual representation for the stream, but since I'm editing this,
Yep.
I'll have that.
I also do.
It's written in Dwarven, this note, and Gideon's going to read this.
Yeah. Sure. Flavius, you've served me well over the years. I have one final thing I wish for you to do. Travel to the Dunan Mountains and track down a group of cannibals that live there. They shouldn't harm you as long as you don't appear threatening. Convince them to attack the construction site of that Ascendancy project. However you achieve that, I'll leave that in your capable hands. Be sure to leave at least one worker alive. Someone has to survive to tell what has happened. If you make it out alive, return to Balesville. If not, may the dark wrap you in its care. May the midnight sun rise. Don't know what the hell any of that means. Gideon holds the paper up, hands it to Azaria.
In the bottom right-hand corner of this note is this almost runic-looking symbol, kind of like a signature.
Does it look like any religious symbols or anything that I would have come across in my studies?
I think I was going to have Logan roll a check here, but I think with his proficiency, I just told him this was not a religious symbol.
Well, they're doing that. Can I make a history check to see if there's any significance to them all being elves? Like if I would know where they're from.
I think I tell her to make a history check.
And mine was a 15.
So for Logan's roll, I of course revealed that it wasn't a religious symbol.
Yeah.
And for Nell, I believe she rolled not exactly well, so there was no significance in them being elves.
Would any of this ring any bells to me? Like if the elves were from the Wilder or anything like that, would any of this ring any bells? Any of these names or things?
I think I had her make a history check.
24.
There's not any significance.
Do we know where the Dunan Mountains are?
The Dunan Mountains are just southwest of where they are.
Oh, I see them.
Or southwest of Balesville, more accurately.
Sorry, they were small. Southwest? Okay. Okay. Because approximately on the map, where are we? Like just south of where the railroad ends?
Yeah, so looking at the region map, there's the
Cool.
markings where the train track construction ends. That is where you guys are currently.
Interesting.
Great.
Hmm.
Some kind of a group in Balesville working with cannibals.
This guy with the mask, is he Elven or Dwarvish?
Do you remove the mask?
I was gonna say I was about to remove it and put it in
Yeah.
my bag, so we can tag team that.
Remove it together.
Well, no, I just mean like take it and you can look at the face.
So when you remove the mask, it reveals this elderly looking elf and human ancestored man. He's got this scraggly blonde hair.
Okay.
I'm gonna walk over to Abe and see if he's come around yet.
As you walk over to him, beneath the poncho around the center of his chest, you can see a faint green glow. And it seems to be pulsing similar to a heartbeat.
Okay.
His eyes are still dark though, and he's still motionless outside of the crystal.
I will lift up the poncho.
You see the emblem.
Okay.
And the crystal, again, kind of the light emanating from it seems to beat, and it seems to be more intense along the cracks.
Interesting. Can I make a medicine check to try to wake him up?
Sure, go ahead and roll for me.
Can I also come over and just like be looking down at his body as well?
Yeah.
So I just kind of try to shake him a little bit, and throw the poncho back over the crystal, and just try to wake him up.
Okay. Let's see. What'd you get?
Big old 11.
All right, Abe, is that enough to rouse you?
Interesting choice of
Yeah,
words.
I know.
There's a brief moment where his eyes flicker on and then turn off again.
I happen to take a step back.
And his body kind of like, I don't necessarily know how he would have fallen, but his body kind of jerks and then rights itself so that he's just sort of lying down rather than in a heap.
Okay.
Gideon approaches with Tinker's tools.
Can I crouch next to Abe and just say, Abe, I don't know if you're in that place again, your dream, but you need to come back now. I'll just like try and like, my urge is to slap him, but I don't think I actually would do that. So I'll just kind of like try, like, I guess, like shaking him.
His eyes flicker a few more times, but then return to darkness.
Look old.
Yeah, perhaps it might be a while before he wakes.
Gideon attempts to fix anything that appears to be out of place, if there is anything, with Tinker's tools.
So Argan folk are less nuts and bolts and more of a living suit of armor. So you won't be able to heal them with Tinker's tools per se.
Oh, okay. Very good. In that case, he puts away his Tinker's tools.
Maybe he just needs a rest. I mean, we all could probably use one after that.
I agree.
I definitely could. Should we put him onto the wagon?
I think maybe we just leave him here for now.
I can't carry him.
I don't think. Well, maybe you could, Nell, but I'm going to help the folks here gather their dead and bury them, give them a proper ritual.
Yeah. I'll see if
Yeah.
they have
Yeah.
any provisions. See if I can help cook a meal.
Yeah, I'll start helping to bury the dead.
I believe it's about this time that they begin helping out with collecting the dead. And the camp is larger than this area that they had fought in. There are many more tents, and the battle was much wider than we'd seen. But otherwise, the folks that had attacked, they pretty much either had all been killed in the fight, or some may have managed to escape in other areas. But you guys had also managed to knock 2 archers from the attackers unconscious.
Yes, we did. Have they roused yet?
Yeah, they seem to be like.
Sorry, I'll stop using that word.
They seem
No, it's
to-
a good word.
It's fine. I use it.
Roused.
Sorry, what'd you say, Denny?
They're on the cusp of consciousness at this point.
Okay. I'll go around, and after the bodies are buried, I'll say a prayer at each one, and then make my way back to the unconscious folks.
Okay, so when you end up returning to the 2 captured, it's a man and a woman elf, and they seem to have a familial connection.
I might suggest to Drac, why don't we each take one? We can see maybe if they're like, if we interview them separately, maybe one of them will be lying and we can compare.
It's a good idea. I've not interrogated someone before, though. Have you?
No.
Maybe I'll just ask the knights to do it for me.
Yeah, it's not a bad idea. Yeah, I'll head up to that the really angry Arturian knight who wanted to fight, and be like, do you want to talk to the survivors?
Yeah, I can do that. I've got no problem with that.
Do you mind if I sit in?
No, I think you've very well earned that. By the way, you can call me Leoba Lowtree.
What?
Leoba Lowtree.
Gesundheit.
Liblu. Cool, for sure, yeah. And they're human? What are they?
Yeah, they're human.
It's nice to meet you. I'm Nell Amara.
This is the lady knight?
Yeah. So, Leoba Lowtree begins to interrogate these 2 individuals, though Leoba's diplomacy seems to be lacking in comparison to her fighting prowess. But what she does get from these 2 individuals is that they are from a tribal conclave somewhere in the Dunan Mountains to the west, and as well as that when they'd begun this fight, that there was this draw. Something drew their attention to Abe the moment he had struck down his first opponent, and it was almost as if the world kind of slowed around them, and their attention was forcibly drawn to him, and there was just this knowing, like a connection of some kind between him and them at that time. And then things quickly returned to normal.
Abe's eyes flicker.
And it felt like an impulse completely outside of them, like an urge that they like weren't accustomed to.
Do you ask them that?
Yeah.
They look to Nell now that she's joined in on the conversation, and they say that this is a totally new experience for them. They have not sensed this kind of thing before.
Do you have gaps in your memory? Oh, just wondering how it would, how he would feel similar to you, but you wouldn't know it. Wouldn't know him.
We admit that there's a lot we don't understand about this, but there was a connection there. And what do you plan on doing with us now? Are you going to kill us?
I just look over at the knight. I don't think it's my jurisdiction.
Leoba says that the captives won't be killed because they may have more information, so they'll likely be held for questioning. And it may be a few days that they'll be held here because they need to wait for the next airship to come in from New Fugalby.
How long?
Possibly about 5 to 7 days. So they're going to be holding off here for a little while before more resources come in.
Okay. Can I ask the two? Sorry, can I ask the two like who the masked gentleman was? Like, did they know him, or who the note was written by?
They're unfamiliar with the note, but as far as the masked individual, he came to their conclave, and he said he was serving a deity that they'd never heard of. And he was the one that had told them about the Arturian Knights at this encampment. A lot of their conclave thought this was a bad lead, but many of us wanted to leave and test their might, because they often sought battle with those who were great warriors, and they never intended to hurt any of the workers or anybody who couldn't defend themselves in this battle.
It's noble, I guess.
It is our way.
Didn't the note say that they're cannibals?
Yeah, that's what I was gonna ask. Like, so you kill them with honor and then eat them?
They believe that the eating of their adversaries imbues them with the strength, knowledge, and wisdom of the fallen individual.
Is there a name for your group?
They're not necessarily an organized group, so there are many factions, but the commonality between them all is they all worship a god named Malden.
Abe, as his body is lying there, I don't know if anyone's around him right now.
I'm probably like keeping an eye.
When they say Malden, he repeats it.
I think I would clock that. I'll write it on my Abe page.
Is this happening near Abe?
Activation.
I assumed I was still by the separated body.
Yeah, you are, but I don't think I would be comfortable like not having you within eyesight. So I maybe kind of like finagled things to have this happening within like, I don't know, 10, 15 feet.
Oh, okay.
Very well.
Just so I can keep an eye. Like, just also felt weird to me. You're just like sleeping out in the open. Like, no. So, interesting. Can you tell me anything more about this entity?
Malden is a god of strength at arms, of martial prowess. We seek to be worthy in his eyes. And our conclave practices this worship in the Dunan Mountains to the west of here.
In the mountains?
Well, more beneath them.
Oh, like a mine.
Not quite, but sure. You could say that.
And you let people just seek out where you live and enter without a fight?
It's not unheard of. They've had in the past a scholar or two, likely within the last 30 years, come into their midst.
Do either of you write?
They look at each other and shake their heads.
No. Your clan got a symbol?
Yes, and it's a rather sacred thing, so not many of us in our clan actually know what the symbol is. That, due to its sacredness, that is kept between our leader, Valen, and Malden, as well as his chosen, the Beast.
Sorry? There's a beast. Is that different from Meldon? And I'll kind of look over at Abe.
When they said the beast, Abe repeated it.
That's good.
But the Beast is the chosen of Malden. He is a separate entity. Depending on the conclave that you're with, I've heard that some others say that the chosen is more of a wandering warrior, while others say that he is a stalwart brute. But we have identified him as the Beast, the primal aspect. And so we worship him in that way. And he determines who among the worshippers of Malden is worthy.
Have you seen this beast? Or it's another entity? Another abstract?
The Beast is another entity, though it is not abstract. They have lived, though we have never seen them personally.
Does your clan have any description of what they look like?
No. They've seen many lives, so they have changed many times.
So the spirit of them has possessed many bodies.
We have no idea how that works.
Fair. Okay. What are your names? So when I visit your leaders, I can tell them that you're as well as can be expected.
The two of them are hesitant and look at each other. The first one says, the lady says, I'm Setwi. And the man says, my name is Tolgar.
Well, I don't know what will come of you now, but good luck, I guess. That's what is thought for those who fail in battle.
Not necessarily. Sometimes they can live to fight another day, but I do not believe that we are worthy.
Abe's eyes return to a solid green, although it's dull. Yet.
Look over.
He kind of slowly sits up. I already forgot their names.
Setwi and Tolgar.
Setwi. Tolgar. Not worthy yet. He stands and takes off the poncho and drops it on the ground.
When you do so, their eyes widen and their mouths are agape, and they're filled with fear and awe as they stare upon you.
Know me, as I will someday know you.
And as you speak, they just continue to stare, but tears begin to run down their faces.
The one upon the horse, who wielded the sword in one arm. What was their name?
His name was Wilfin.
Abe walks over to the body. assume no one stops them.
I don't think Gideon is around. I think Gideon
I'm watching you.
cooking.
Like I'm close, but I'm not stopping you.
Okay.
Yet.
Abe kneels down to the body and places his right hand across the heart of Wilfin and says, I have failed you. Ah has taken your soul to hunt on distant shores. One day, I will take you to the crimson sands of paradise. And he crosses Wolfin's arms across his chest and then stands up, looks at Nell, and then Abe's eyes return to like the normal sort of prominent green, and his posture just sort of slumps back down again to be what you recognize Abe to be. And he just sort of looks around confused.
Abe, can you sit down just for a sec, please?
He sits in place.
Thank you. I'm going to turn back to, I have the names right. Setwe and Chilgarnby and say, you recognized something in him just now. What was it that you saw? Who is he to you? Is he the beast?
Not him who sits there now, but he, as Abe sits on the ground, but not him, but he who was standing here before.
What? What do you mean by that?
Well, I don't know how to explain it. He needs to speak with our leader.
I'll walk over and put my hand on Nell's shoulder and say, they mean who he is when he is not Abe.
So who he was just now?
That was not Abe.
That I know.
I know.
I think Nell just feels like kind of overwhelmed now, so she just kind of like nods to the two of them and just walks, I guess, towards Abe and just says, let's go back to the wagon. And then she'll just go.
Abe will pick up his great axe because it's still on the ground. And he just sort of stands looking at the torn apart body for a few seconds. And his eyes flicker rapidly. And then he follows Nell back to the wagon.
When I get there, I'm going to just sit down and start like just writing everything down about what they just said to me, just to have a record of it.
I'll look at the two archers and say, you are lucky to have been spared today. Perhaps you should rethink what you have done in your life. Had I known your sins, I would not have been so quick to hit with a fist instead of a spear. And I'll walk away.
Any of you who don't have inspiration, you can have inspiration.
Still haven't used it.
I have done
I
nothing.
still have mine.
I also have not used it. I keep forgetting about it.
I just got to come up with reasons to roll dice.
Yep. I could have used it on that leatherworker's check. Damn it.
And from that fight, you also have 2 extra horses.
They didn't run away.
No.
I do really want us to take those horses. It'll make
probably a
things
good
a lot
idea.
faster.
Would be useful.
Yeah. Maybe I'll try and spend some time good with animals. Maybe I can convince them to help us at least for a bit. And I'll make my way over to the 2 horses, bring some of the... I assume we have some horse food for the horse that's with us. Just bring a little bit and offer it to both of them. Are they boy or girl horses?
I don't know.
No, what, Teni didn't prep this?
One of it.
Come on.
They're like dollar store miniatures that you get, so they have no gender.
Beanie babies.
Ken doll as a horse.
Yeah, so there's one boy,
Hey,
one
horses.
girl, and their names Ken and Doll.
Ken and doll.
Hey horses, here's some food and I'll just place it down to the ground and just sit there.
So I'll get you to make an animal handling check.
I'm gonna use my inspiration.
Well,
15.
It's not bad. So the horses, as you approach them, they kind of relax because they're used to a combat atmosphere, so they're fine. And they eat the horse food that you put on the ground.
As they do, I'll pet them on the tops of their heads. Sorry for any pain that we've caused you both. It would be quite kind if you'd be willing. We have quite a large group that could quite use the help of 2 fine steeds such as yourselves. There's more food if you come with us.
As you say that, they just kind of... and it kind of gives a sense of approval.
And I will lead them to Gideon's cart.
Gotta make friends with Hildy.
They better not hurt her.
Well, she's the boss. She's the boss horse.
Looking at the size of these horses, they stand a fair bit taller than Hildy, and they're trained for combat, and they've been riding a bit more, whereas Hildy's strength is more in pulling. So she's a little shorter.
My money's on Hildy, bro.
I'll be
Got
like,
the sass.
to the 2 new horses, Ken and Doll, be like, so now I myself, when it comes to traveling, a little slow. Would you mind if one of you, if I used you as my steed in the times that we travel together?
Yeah, they seem to be accepting, they're ready to accept a rider. Also, they don't mind if you want to change their names in the future.
no, I love these
No,
names.
Bad luck to
This is
read on a
it.
horse.
Yeah.
Kennius and
Canon,
Dahlius.
So.
Kenny and Dolly and Hildy.
That's
There
so
you
cute. Look at this.
Kenny, Dolly, and Hildy.
All the
Maybe I
southern-
will. I'll take Dolly and just maybe spend some time over the night riding with her, getting used to how she handles.
What's Nell, or not Nell, what's Elwyn doing?
I think I was just helping probably Rhea with whatever they were doing. I've come back to the cart now.
Gideon would have spent the day looking for the camp chef, hoping that they're alive. This was just a fight after all. They may have been killed. And if they are alive, Gideon offers his aid in the kitchen. And if they are dead, Gideon offers his aid in the kitchen.
In that battle, there was one tent that had been guarded by the Cleansing Breath mercenary, that Dragonborn, and inside that tent was the chef.
Good chef.
An important role here.
I turn to the Dragonborn.
Yeah.
And I say, you had the most important duty here today.
Oh, I know. I mean, if he died, we don't get any food. So, I mean, also, I don't get paid.
I like it. Lots of motivation.
Oh, yeah.
Well, I turn to the chef. We have some extra people here. I'm a capable cook. You want some help?
So, coming from inside the tent is this much older dwarf with a white beard and this white hair and a white hat on top. He's got this, like, apron on.
Nice.
But you kind of get the sense that he's got more coin than his appearance lets on.
Nice.
And that's why he's got a bodyguard.
I love
That
this
must be a
guy.
hell of a
What an
chef.
absolute legend.
So, you're a chef, eh?
That's right.
Well, we don't really have much in the way of supplies at the moment. Hope you don't intend on using the dead.
No, what do I look like? The people who attacked you? No. Come on.
Well, then I hope you don't mind helping me scrounge up a proper meal.
Of course. No problem. Yeah, one of them had a note. That's the only reason I knew that. Bunch of cannibals attacked you. Aren't you fortunate you had a mercenary?
Well, you don't live as long as I do without having a bit of a thinker on your head.
Yeah, I like that. I respect that. Especially for a traveling cook.
So he turns around and he gets back into the tent and he hucks this bag of potatoes at you and he says, "Well, get peeling then."
Gideon will catch it. And he says, fair enough, and lead the way.
Every line cook's first job. Peel potatoes.
Peel potatoes. Yep, Gideon, scimitar.
As you follow Dumo to what he's been using as a kitchen, it's this open area that has like this canvas roof atop of 4 kind of tent legs that support it. And it's just this makeshift kitchen. It's very simple in like what it's got.
Yep.
So the plan is just to kind of make a bunch of hash browns. You're going to peel, he's going to season them.
I respect that.
But it's very simple seasoning. So he's like, keep it simple, stupid.
Yeah. Keep it simple, stupid. Kiss. Mwah, chef's kiss. Anyways. Yeah, Gideon will cook. Do you want me to roll a check for that, or?
Sure, why not?
Use your inspiration.
I'll do it. Damn it.
It never helps. What's even the point?
I just roll bad. It's okay.
So the potatoes aren't bad. The chef deals with most
Good.
of the seasoning, and the food is quite satisfying.
He has a worldly collection.
Oh, yes. And as the two of you are working together, he tells you that his name is Dumo.
Dumo. I like that.
Hmm.
Dumo the chef.
Well, actually, that's Chef Dumo to you.
Oh. My mistake. Of course.
Kumo, comma, chef.
Very well. Does he tell me anything about himself? Gideon would probably try to make conversation. Where's he from?
He's from up in Brule Bar, but he spent a good portion of his underground when civilization had fled down under, and he's very excited to be up here and making food, like not out of mushrooms.
No kidding. Very well. And then yeah, Gideon will just follow his every command and just basically expedite the process of this this meal for everybody.
As the two of you are cooking, the smell just kind of wafts around the camp, but people don't come right away. As they're tending to the wounded and the dead.
Straight.
But eventually, after a while, workers begin to come over with their own mess kits, their plates and forks, and you guys kind of like a cafeteria spoon potatoes onto their plates, and they leave and go eat, and everybody gets fed.
Nice.
What are other people up to?
Abe is, I guess he would have picked up his poncho before going back to the cart, but he is kind of like, he doesn't seem to really notice that there's blood all over him. He's just kind of like, oh, I just need to clean this. So he's trying his best to do that. I guess when Elowen comes back to the cart, Abe's head kind of snaps in her direction and his eyes start flickering rapidly.
Elowen takes a couple steps back.
I think I would notice and stand up and hold my hand out to Abe.
His left hand kind of raises, pointing at the body of the person in two halves, and says, "Was that his destiny?" And then it hit Abe, just sort of, his head jerks back for a second, and then it just sort of goes back to how he normally is.
I think Elowen just kind of like avoids him. She'll walk around to the other side. Maybe she'll go pet some horses now.
I think I'm feeling really like frustrated by and like I guess confused by the conversation that I just had with the two siblings. And like, I don't know, everything is just messy now and it's stressing me out. So I'll look over at Abe and I'll just kind of be like, we will talk later, but for now I think it's best if you just sit here for a little bit while I talk to Elowen. And some of that frustration will kind of like come out of my fingers a little, and a prestidigitation is cast and removes all the blood off of you.
Okay.
And I'll just kind of like sigh and like clench my hand and then turn to go talk to Elowen. So I get that was really fucked up. Right, is she also covered in blood?
I don't know, how much did the blood splatter when he ripped the body in half in front of me?
I don't know. I'll leave that up to you.
Yeah.
Perfectly clean.
We have some blood. No, I'm picking Abe.
Hollywood clean.
I guess I hit him with a club too. There's probably some blood on me.
Yeah. I guess kind of like feeling the after like tingle of like what I just was able to cast. Like I'll try and actually like on purpose cast it again this time. Be like, do you mind if I try something?
Of course.
Okay. And I'll like actually like choose to cast it this time. And I'll remove the blood and then just kind of like, I think there's like a little bit of like a shimmering like rainbow flicker on my hand, just like stare at it, shake my hand out and like wipe it on my pants as if that's doing anything, and then just kind of cross my arms like awkwardly and like, anyway, were you there for the conversation with the siblings? Did you hear any of it?
I guess not.
Okay. I think I would tell you what they said to me and like present like the theory that I think that like not Abe is this beast figure, but I'll like probably like whisper the word beast because I'm afraid of like activating him. So,
I mean, I know it's not Abe, but I don't know how much that changes things.
I understand.
He's clearly dangerous. And he's proven to us that he's willing to attack allies.
He didn't, though.
He was going to. I was standing right there. He was going to hurt you.
I didn't realize he was... what he had said was about me. You know, I thought...
We don't know a lot of things about Abe. Look, it's fine. I just don't know how much I want to be around him. But
Yeah.
I think if you're right, if he is this thing, it's worth taking him to that place the cannibals were talking about. Maybe they can separate them.
That would be ideal. I worry that it's not that easy, but I don't know what to do here, and I hate that feeling a lot. I don't know if there's like a right answer. It seems like outside of my village that just isn't a thing. It's all murky and fucked up.
Yeah. That is pretty much always how it is.
Can't say I really like it that much.
Well, I'm sure you'll grow used to it. It's part of the point of traveling, is it not? To gain more experience, to learn more about the world.
Yeah, it's why we go out so early. We're supposed to experience things, but because I feel like I was very unprepared for the realities of things. And that concerns me a little. But if there's anything I can do to help you feel safer, please just let me know.
Yeah, I think as long as we're in a group, I'm sure we'll be okay.
Okay.
She doesn't seem convinced by that, but that's fine.
Yeah. I think like mentally I'm just like adding to the list, like, okay, so for Drac, I have to make sure that no dragon or people who aren't dragonborns are mean to him. For Elwyn, I'll just keep a distance. I'll stand between her and Abe. For Abe, I'll make sure that he doesn't murder anyone from our party. It's fine. I can handle this. And then I'll just like think like, I wonder if Rhea or Gideon need anything.
Great.
So, what are we doing?
It's still early, right? This all happened in the morning?
Yep.
God awful morning. Can I like have taken a short rest while I was journaling?
Yes, absolutely. You can all have a short rest.
Thank you.
Okay.
I'm very wounded.
Cooking and serving, and then however long that takes.
Totally thought you were gonna break into a song. Just like, I was like ready to like jam. I was like,
here's the musical episode.
And serving and cooking.
He'd probably check in with everybody one-on-one. Saving Abe for last because he still doesn't know he's awake. So yeah, he would approach each and every one of you and just say like, do you need any help? Do you need any food? Do you need any relaxing herbs? I got some of them. What do you need?
Some relaxing herbs.
Yeah, I brought my herbalism kit for a reason. Help with pain. There's more than one kind of pain.
I'll take a meal. But
Yeah,
I'll just sit down and maybe just pull out a book and try to just kind of like calm myself down and read for a minute.
It's actually just parsley.
It does always make me feel calm. Yeah, I think I'll take my food and just like sit on like a rock or somewhere I can just like see like everything from. Just keep an eye on everything.
Yeah, he'd probably just make you a tea, to be honest, for relaxing. But
chamomile. Thank you so much.
I signal everybody towards the meal that me and Dumo made for breakfast. And then yeah, I guess he'll finally make his way over to Abe after. I'm assuming you all would have told him he was awake.
Yeah.
And yeah, he'll approach Abe, who I guess is still at the cart. Hey there, Abe. How
Gideon.
are you feeling?
Fine.
Yeah, you should have seen yourself there. It was impressive, really.
His eyes flicker a little bit.
Yeah, that right there. He backs up a couple steps and he very casually puts his right hand on his hip just over his pistol. That right there. Yeah, that was real impressive. What do you remember, Abe? Any of it? Just anything.
He kind of sits with his elbows on his knees and his hands sort of just under his chin. I dream.
About what?
Flashes. Moments. Memories. Not
Anything.
mine.
Not yours, huh?
Memories taken. Some willing. His eyes flicker.
Gideon
Some not.
flinches when the eyes flicker.
He looks over to the
Wait a minute.
bodies that haven't been buried yet.
You're telling me their memories? That guy's memories? And he points to the guy who got split.
Those like them.
Those like them. Well, yeah, I'm assuming you did a number on a few of them.
No. Those like them, but long before.
Well, next time you plan on doing something like that, and giving yourself a new coat of paint, could you give me a little bit of warning first, please? A little bit unsettling. And a little bit overkill, if you ask me. I mean, geez.
He looks
Look.
at the ground.
I'm human, okay? We don't take too much to go down. Look at this. I pull out my gun. This thing puts people down. You shoot them once, and that's it. Sets it back in its holster. You didn't have to rip the man in two.
He kind of sits back straight for a moment, looking at the sky. One of many wanted freedom in a moment of passion.
And what do you define as freedom, Abe? Because I
The
can tell
eyes-
you one thing, you certainly freed his top half from his lower half, and I don't think that's what they want.
The eyes flicker. Control.
Gideon jumps back and draws his pistol and points it at Abe. You're gonna need to
Where
calm down, friend.
Nell was sitting, she like drops her meal and is just kind of like standing.
There's no such thing as freedom and control. Not if you're controlling them. That's not freedom.
You are one soul,
Yep,
one body.
that's right.
He looks down at the crystal and sort of runs his finger over the cracks. Many souls, one body.
So you know nothing of freedom. And you know nothing of control. And until whatever is going on with you is rectified, you never will.
I do not know.
Gideon very slowly holsters his gun. Now, could you step like 6 steps over that way? I need to get in the cart.
He complies.
Gideon will have one eye on you the whole time as he's sifting through the cart for supplies. And
He's
then,
just sitting cross-legged, kind of, again, with his elbows on his knees and his hands under his chin, just sort of surveying as his eyes flicker every few minutes.
yeah, every time your eyes flicker, you'll note Gideon like instinctually like flinches and goes for his weapon, but then goes back to what he's doing. And then yeah, he'll head back to the dining area, looking a little bit more shaken up than usual. Yeah, that's it.
During this short rest, Drac finishes his meal and then goes and does some meditation, thinking on what he's seen so far. And after he's completed his prayers and exited his meditative state, come back over to the group. 2 souls. It is an old Darokarth tale, a myth. A being reincarnated with more than one being within them. It took me a while to remember it, but I fear perhaps Abe is a being like that.
What else is told in these stories?
This one tells of someone fighting with themselves, or whatever is within them. It does not have a happy ending. They succumb to one or the other. I just thought it pertinent.
Certainly.
I think that our best bet is to go to this lair under the mountains and see what they know.
It will not be free information. I think
I
you know
reckon
that.
reckon these people are pretty hostile, judging by their behavior here.
Yes. I mean, they did say that on occasion scholars are welcomed in, so if we do go and we do this, I don't think we all go in, and especially Abe does not go in.
I am afraid of them seeing Abe.
With respect, that could have been a lie.
It did not seem like they were lying.
Well, they might be a good liar.
Can I make a retroactive insight check, Teni?
Did
Sure,
they
go
seem
for
like
it.
they were lying?
So this is to kind of get a gauge, looking at them, if they have a good capacity for lying.
I'm going to use my inspiration.
All I'm saying is,
Not much
is
better.
if we walk,
That's a 12.
It's possible Gideon could be right.
Yeah.
all I'm saying is that if we walk into a lair full of cannibals, like the note said, that's just a free dinner for 'em.
I agree.
I don't want to be someone else's dinner. I got a life to live.
As do
The
I.
note did say that the cannibals probably wouldn't attack him if he didn't seem threatening, which is in line with what they told us.
Yeah, but he also talks about the midnight sun and all that stuff. He probably
True.
scared him with talks of some crazy thing. I don't know.
Rhea, I think you are the person who's been alive the longest among us. Do any of these religious elements they talked about, does any of it, do you recognize any of it? The midnight sun, I think I kind of whisper, crimson sands,
Crimson Sand. Yeah. Would this be anything that I'd recognized? Any?
You're muted.
Then he
Muted.
You're muted.
Muted. Muted.
Ooh, this is fun.
Muted laugh.
I'm gonna say you know all
Yeah.
about them.
Muted.
Go. No.
there you
Oh,
go.
you're
No,
good,
no.
you're good.
Now,
Yeah,
now we can do.
So I'm making Logan roll a religion check.
Yep. 24. That's the most I could have rolled.
So with the 24, unfortunately, I end up deciding that still yields no results, with the 25 being the necessary DC.
Now. Cool.
Yeah.
Oh no.
Oh wow. That would have been literally impossible.
Stone cold. Jeez Louise.
I opened my notebook and everything. I was about to be like, all right, let's
Yeah.
I'm ready to learn.
Or don't. Just kidding.
But I also feel bad about not giving him anything.
As this seems like a religion or a form of worship, I'm just wondering if maybe these terms or things, maybe not even the exacts, but things like this Crimson Sea and this beast and stuff, if any of it comes in any sort of like religious or folklore related things.
So I ask Adam if there's any relevant information he thinks Logan might glean from this with that roll.
No pressure. Although they have lived a very long time.
Referring to Azaria.
You may have come across travelers, either individuals or small groups, that seemed to rarely speak the name of their deity, but they sought glory and martial might, not necessarily through like the way a fighter is martial, but to be more capable in combat than others, and that to be, however not often they would mention it, to be something called worthy. What that meant to them, versus what it would mean to not a person of their faith could be very different. But that to be worthy was the highest echelon of their faith. And that the crimson sands of paradise would be a common sort of greeting, as like, may you find the crimson sands of paradise kind of thing. But in your entire lifespan, that might have only happened once or twice.
Once or twice, a traveler would say something along that, but not something that I'm quite familiar with.
That sounds very similar to the belief of my people. Not glory in combat or being worthy, but doing something to be recognized by the stock, to join them in their paradise.
Drac, I can't believe I haven't asked you this yet, but do you eat people?
Weird how that never came up.
Decidedly, no.
Cool.
That
At this
is
point,
not
Gideon will
okay.
arrive. Glad to hear it. Truly, I am.
Yes.
There's debates that you do not waste things, and there's a whole philosophical thing we could get into around this.
Certainly.
Hey, I think Abe is broken.
Oh, really?
Oh. Sure.
I just had the weirdest conversation with him.
Welcome to the club.
Yeah. Oh, I was about to say the same thing.
It was great. Members only. Yeah.
I
Do I get a
am
jacket?
right here.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's like,
Oh, wait, the other way.
and I mean, aren't we all broken?
I think if we want to try to figure this thing out with Abe, the best place we can go to find information is this encampment. I don't know if it's a good idea for them to see him, though, especially if what Drac is saying is true, that one side may win out against the other. It sounds like they want the not Abe side to win.
I would
And I
worry.
quite like Abe. He's very nice.
I like Abe a lot more than the other thing.
Yeah. I worry that if you, Abe, were to enter the lair, I guess, they would somehow be able to activate
Yeah,
this side of you.
Turn him against us.
Yeah.
I agree.
Yeah.
I guess I'll say to Abe, I know that we talked before that you want to know who you were. But if that person was someone, I guess, not worth knowing, would you want to be them again? Or would you want to be this new you?
He runs his hands along the cracks of the crystal again and sort of shakes his head. There are many. You have known one. They
Well-
are exception rather than rule. Understand concern. I must know the path.
I think this is Abe's choice at the end. I mean, one is, who is to say either or any of these are, the true Abe? And I don't think we get to make the call if Abe wants to go there or not. This is your life. I agreed that we would, make you whole. I plan to keep that promise, Abe. And I'll follow you through this, whatever you want to do.
He kind of looks at the ground. I am not sure. Abe is.
You're not sure Abe is?
Many memories. Do not know if Abe was.
Abe is
Or-
new.
I think, yes.
Perhaps new might be better in this situation, but I understand wanting to know. I guess my question is, if we can gain that information on your behalf, would that be enough, or do you need to have it yourself? Do you need to go in yourself?
His eyes flicker and sort of turn dull for a second and then go back to normal. One of them is worthy. Valen,
The leader.
I must know him.
What exactly do you get for being worthy?
I do not know.
And in this case, does no require you to tear him in half?
Seems like a raw deal to me.
It depends on if he lives up to the claim.
Okay.
Well, I mean, hey, I'm not one to pal around with cannibals.
No.
You know,
Um,
I prefer a more balanced diet. Little fruit, vegetables.
Yes.
the one that you marked at the beginning of the battle, whose name I don't remember.
Wilfin.
Yeah. What were you hoping to get from him? What is it that you think I took in that moment?
He kind of looks at the crystal and then sort of stares off towards the horizon. His soul was mine to care for. Instead, he went with Ah.
Went with who?
Ah.
Is one of the gods.
Oh,
In the High Planetary, Ah is the deity of shepherding souls. He is the Ascendancy's god of death.
Wilfin hunts on foreign shores.
Actually, I'm pretty sure he's over there and over there.
Wilfin wasn't the one that was torn apart. That was like a random warrior. Wilfin was the one that I got the killing blow on.
Oh, excuse me. Never mind.
Yeah, which is why Abe was mad at me, but I fully didn't clock it. And I was like,
True.
what's up? So
Understood. Sorry, he's over there.
cool.
His soul is not.
So killing him, his soul does what? It goes into your crystal?
Part of it.
I saw that happen, didn't I?
I
Yeah.
don't know.
The first guy that Abe killed, I was like right next to him. Oh,
Shit.
fuck. Drax's eyes light up at that, and
How many are?
Do you tell us that?
I saw him. I saw that happen.
When?
At the beginning, Abe downed a man, and a little wisp of green energy flew into him.
Is Abe wearing the poncho?
I guess he does. He has it on now. Yeah.
Okay. You want to show us that crystal there?
He takes the poncho off.
Is it still like glowing?
Not anymore.
How does it look? Does it look like perfect, old, worn, cracked?
It looks very worn and very cracked. There's three sort of major cracks, and then a central sort of circular section in the middle. It's like diamond shaped. And then within each section, it looks like there's hairline fractures and many, many smaller cracks. And within each of those cracks, there's many smaller ones. And it just sort of continues as far as the naked eye can see.
The diamond on his chest, does it match shape-wise with the diamond on the symbol of the letter?
Make an investigation check for me. You can have advantage because you have the letter to look at.
Well, Abe, it looks like you're bursting at the seams here.
15.
It's similar only in that they're both diamonds. It's just similar shape, but that could mean it's connected, but it could also not be.
It's true. Okay. All right.
What happens if that thing breaks? Or don't you know?
The eyes sort of half flicker. We die.
We?
All of the souls inside.
I think they're all dead already. With respect.
The spirit persists long after a body dies.
What if it's freed instead of dying?
It goes on to where it belongs.
I think I might have read something about this.
Denny, there's a section in the Medicine lore document you shared with us that you're only supposed to read if you have an intelligence of 16 or higher, which I do. Can I share this information with the rest of the group? It just clicked in my brain that we are talking about this.
I spend a little bit of time being confused about what Dallas is referring to, as I don't recall.
At a will.
I don't recall what information I'd specifically put down for her. But
It's in the Discord.
Yeah, I have no problem with her sharing that information though, because why wouldn't she be able to share that?
I run to my bag and grab some books, shift through them.
I ask her what information she's talking about.
Oh, well, okay. I'll hold off. I'm reading it quickly. I'm trying to remember exactly what this said. But it talks about Menanon and the creation of the Argon folk and the soul crystal that's inside of them. I don't. Sorry, I'm trying to quickly read this. I don't remember everything this tells me. If I could, share parts of this with the group. But what I'm highlighting in here?
Unfortunately, I'm not able to see what she's highlighting.
No, okay.
So we just spend a little time trying to figure out what she's trying to share.
Yeah, there is a lot in here, and that's why I can't figure out exactly what it is I'm trying to read either. But, it doesn't tell us anything, insane, but it's just, there are beings of neutral energy in this creation, or in this space. This crystal, there was a crystal that held the energy of gods and devils, and it exploded and was spread into many different souls. This is the creation of the Argon folk. They were created of the metal in these souls. But it talks... Yeah, sorry.
To kind of clean up what Dallas is trying to say
Please.
here. When the desolation happened, 200, 300 years ago, the gods and devils all vanished, and there were these entities known as the Alumbrites, who are beings of pure energy. And they worshipped true neutrality. And they had this crystal that they'd created that would keep in check the balance of good and evil. And it had activated at that point in time without intending to. And it absorbed all the gods, the devils, so the extremes of good and evil. And thus they were vanished from the world. Approximately 50 or so years ago, a group of people found this crystal as their plane of existence had kind of exploded and been dispersed into other realms. The party previous found the crystal, destroyed it, and the gods and devils were freed, along with many souls that had been, instead of going to the afterlife, had been coming to this crystal. And these souls fled into bodies to occupy, as well as metal that created the Argon folk.
That is.
And now shards of these
incredible.
crystals are known as soul shards and can house souls.
So this crystal is doing what it's supposed to do, really, hold these souls.
Abe's eyes again do the kind of half flicker. They are with me before the long slumber.
Do you know how many?
Our people. Memories before walls and cities.
Oh, and do you know what the purpose of the gathering of the souls is in the crystal? Like, to what end?
Are you asking me?
I am, because you have the book of knowledge about it.
Mhm,
I
mhm.
haven't read it yet, unfortunately. So
Right. Yeah, I'm still reading it too.
okay, cool. Totally.
I did read it. That's why I remembered this was here, but
My
I
intelligence
didn't read
isn't high
it
enough.
today.
Yeah. I'm
Intelligence
not smart
14,
enough.
bro.
Yeah, I was like, ooh, I'm pretty good. Nope,
No.
15. So
I was like, yep, mine's an 18. I didn't read it though.
That's 'cause
Well, I did
Raya
the
lived it.
assigned reading.
yeah.
Yeah, you guys. Well, that's true. Yeah. I don't know, Denny. Does it tell me in here why we were catching these? Why they were in the souls?
At this point, I had kind of already explained that they just housed energy. So, and souls were the type of energy that they were attuned to. Now, I didn't mention this to these guys during the session, so this is for everybody at home. But these originally were used by these beings of pure energy as kind of a meditation in their culture. Like, it would essentially merge all of their bodies together, merging them into one entity where they would kind of share consciousness, and then afterwards it would redisperse them into their individuals. So that's why these things originally had this ability.
Rack, this doesn't bring anything with you. Your whole thing is balance.
Yeah, I was about to ask, does this kind of mythos seem familiar, other than the obvious way of it aligns with what my people do?
Though it is odd how similar in belief
Yeah.
Darrow-Karth's beliefs are in with the Alumbrites. You hadn't heard anything about these beings before.
Renan said that Darrow-Karth was built on a place of earthly power. Perhaps it is the remnants of these Elumbrites.
Maybe.
And wasn't the ritual that we have to help them or wake them up to do, wasn't that to appease some great force, some energy?
Something about balance. I don't remember.
Yes.
Yeah.
And stop some great evil.
Seems like a lot is interwoven here.
Yo, I just got shivers from all the interconnectedness. This is freaking exciting.
Yeah, me too.
I mean, it makes sense that many different cultures share similar beliefs.
Yeah.
If there is truth behind them, then it would be a truth shared by them all.
So it's like they each have like a fragment of the story, kind of,
Or,
Yeah.
you know,
or like their own like version of it.
hundreds of
Perhaps.
years of separation and stuff. Everyone's twisted it. You know.
Is there anything that I can think of for my own clan that like resonates with any of this at all?
No. Well, I think your village
We're too
Is-
new.
exactly.
I would know, like, I fully can't remember now though, but for Fyra, like, she was like an established god before like the desolation, right?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, she would have been roughly around.
Okay.
Though it may have they
Mhm.
were fairly recently into Ascension, so Azaria may well have been alive at the time that they attained godhood.
So newer than the stuff that we've been talking about.
Yeah.
So,
But here we are.
yeah, Yeah, in the grand scheme of things, even pre-desolation, Fyra's still a fairly young god.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm sure my grandma would love to hear that. That she's young. that would feel good, right? Maybe, I guess. I don't know. And like gods, like what's like better. But I feel like that's like a grandma thing, right? To like want to feel like spry.
I just look at Elwyn. I don't know, Elwyn, what do you think?
I have no comment.
Like I like punched Drac on the arm, like
Okay, yes, it was a bad joke. I'm sorry. I'm trying to lighten the mood. Oh, you're so strong. Ah.
like that was like half strength.
You realize now that half strength, you could still probably break me in half.
I didn't.
Your half strength is a lot.
Well, I'm not punching you though. I wouldn't punch you.
Just...
As long as I can take it, it's okay.
Yeah.
I'm just thankful she's not punching me.
Yeah, Gideon, you're kind of on the fence for me because I don't know. I guess because this seems mean.
Go ahead,
But,
I can take it.
yeah, I mean, I've seen Drac work out, and I just haven't seen you work out yet. So I'm afraid. I mean, like, there is like a level of like ability for like weapons such as your own, but it's less like. Anywho,
I'm more focused on precision. It's quite all right. There's no need to be coy about it. Yeah, you're right.
Right.
Look at me. He holds out his arm. Not quite
What
noodles,
a call
but
out.
it's quite all right. But I bet you this now. You ever asked me to climb around on something or fiddle around with things, sleight of hand, something like that? You need me to take somebody's wallet? I could do it without them noticing.
You do have me beat in that. I feel as though I'm very loud, just
Gideon.
walking.
Gideon pulls out his playing cards and like starts flipping them a little bit. Like I could do stuff like this, playing cards,
yeah,
and
and it's
starts, like,
very
shuffling them.
impressive. What are we doing about Abe?
Oh, right. Sorry.
I think it's pretty impressive, but okay.
You like
Did he-
probably you noticed that like now was like actually quite enthralled. She was like, ooh, like tricks, like the innocence of like a child sitting by a campfire, like entertainment. But she tries to get back on task. Right. Sorry, I think I'm a little rattled by the fact that Ria's older than my grandma, or than Fyra. It's weird. Right, but we're going to the mountains, and it takes a few days, so I guess we can figure it out on the way how we want to
Now,
go in.
Now I'm kind
I mean-
of though like, what's even the point of going to the mountains?
and I also wonder if there's a more pressing issue. And that note in Balesville.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Because this isn't now just a strange town where people have disappeared. It's a town that has actively tried to kill innocent people.
Mhm.
Right.
Not all the town, but at least some people there. It does seem, from what we gathered from these cannibals, they're less of a threat to the general workers.
Yeah, they only attacked on this guy's orders.
And I have a feeling this guy would have had to kill a lot of the just workers.
Hmm.
Based on what you've said, they don't look quite capable of fighting, and
The mountains are kind of on the way, no?
Not
They're
to
out of the way.
Balesville. We have to go
No, it's
west
kind of a-
to get to the mountains. But Balesville
Oh.
is more north.
Look at Abe. Abe, are you okay to backtrack to the mountains later? Or is
I
this
must
something you need
know
to?
him.
You must.
but he is an elf. He will live a long time.
He will be there.
Hold on a minute. I thought him is the one that you killed now, right? What was his name again?
No, he's talking about Velen now. Before we were talking about Wilfin.
Yes.
Come on, Gideon. It's pretty simple. Let's.
Look, all right. I'm sorry. I'm just tired.
Oh, you know what will make it easier? We don't have a name for the one that Abe didn't have, so let's just call him Brad.
No,
know?
I'm not talking about him. I'm talking about the one on the horse.
Hidden Brad.
Yeah, that's Wilfin.
Okay.
Velen is the leader of the cannibals.
Oh.
That Abe apparently knows is an elf, so that's good. I guess.
And I mean, when we go there, if they allow scholars in, we can maybe leave my weapons with some of you. If we want someone to go in first, I can at least talk to them, tell them what's going on, have the rest of you come in.
What
Yeah.
is to stop them from just killing you on the spot when you walk in?
Well, I can create a telepathic link between people. We can communicate if one of us is to go in.
And
Or-
I'm probably the least threatening of all of us.
Fair enough.
I was gonna say, like, myself or Drac could come with you as protection, but maybe that would make them not trust you.
No, I think we want to go in as non-threatening as possible.
Yeah.
So
Well,
are we
can-
going that way?
No, I think Balesville first. I think Ria's right.
Is that okay, Gideon?
As-
Sure. I mean, sorry, it's fine with me. Just so we're all clear.
I was like, yeah, I think it's fine.
I'm thinking
Well,
in my brain about what we need
Ellen,
to
I'm
do.
glad you think it's fine.
Elowen's just like, I don't care what Gideon thinks.
I'm chuffed that you think it's fine.
I think you'll be okay.
Yeah, we can go ahead. Again, this journey, this I don't even know what to call it. Prophecy. This is all yours. I'm here to help. I'm along for the ride. So, what you feel is best.
Great. And it's settled. To Balesville.
So you all
To be-
begin to collect yourselves and get into the wagon. And who's going to be taking the horses?
I'm taking Dolly.
I
I'm like,
shall
Dolly,
walk.
you'll get a better name.
No. No.
I don't know if I have horses back home. If I would know how to ride one.
No, I don't think you would have horses.
I think I would know how.
Makes more
Yeah.
sense.
And what's your movement, anyways, Drac?
40.
Yeah, you've got a way faster movement than like you and Abe both do. So I
I
think,
can almost keep up with the horses.
yeah. So I think like I could take a horse and then Elwyn in the cart, like before, which is easier for you, Elwyn, anyways, because then you can read while we move.
Pretty sweet deal for me.
There are, I guess, benefits to being small. I haven't experienced them in quite a while. So
Now, as you begin to mount the horse, you get this sense of vertigo that washes over you, and you kind of get this dizzy feeling. And as you get up into the saddle of the horse, you kind of blink, and you see that Nell is now riding on a horse-sized duck, and that's where we're going to break.
66!
66.
Yay!
Oh my
I
God.
truly
It's
thought,
Ducky now.
oh my God, I thought you were going to say like, and she's bald. And I was like, no, I don't want that one. I don't want that one.
Oh,
Oh my God, I forgot we
Horse-sized
had that.
Duck.
yeah, I totally forgot it.
I was wondering
There's
when
I
you were
was,
going
I
to
was
drop
trying
that.
to manipulate the situation so that Nell would end up on a horse, because it only changes if she gets on the horse.
Oh my God, you're welcome. I fell right for your
This was so much fun
Ooh.
to witness. Anyway, so we're going to go on break here.
For his duck trap.
We're going to go on break here. I have a sound effect. Yeah.
There it is.
Right. So yeah, there's going to be more of that sound effect after the break. And we'll see you guys in a bit. Bye. Hi there, folks. I just wanted to say thank you all for coming out this evening to watch the stream live if you're here live, or watching the VOD on YouTube afterwards. I just wanted to add, if folks wanted to support the channel, the easiest way to do that is to follow us on the Twitch channel, which is twitch.tv/DicelyDND, and subscribe to the YouTube channel, Dicely D&D, on YouTube. Thank you all for coming out, and hopefully you're enjoying the stories that we're creating here. I'm having a great time working with these players. They're a lovely bunch, and we should be right back to the game here very shortly, right after this break. So thank you for holding in there, and be sure to go get some water or use the washroom before we get back. So we'll see you in a bit. Thanks, folks. And we're back, everybody. And we're dealing with a giant duck.
Gideon bursts out laughing.
Now,
Sorry, literally? It's a giant duck.
It is quite literally a horse-sized duck. Yeah, it's like a chocobo from Final Fantasy.
Chocobo.
Chocobo. Did the horse become a duck?
Yes, so, like
the moment I touched it, it was a duck.
the moment that you hopped on its
Kenny?
back, and everybody's eyes, like, the moment you blinked and opened up, it now just is a horse or a duck to you.
After a flinch and a jump and a shocked look, Gideon is rolling on the floor laughing. His hat is off. He's done.
Well,
Rhea, can you talk to it?
Something's wrong with my horse.
You don't say.
don't say.
yeah, I'm just like, Ken, could you just give one quack if you feel all right, and two if you're as terrified as I think some of us might be?
Speak for yourself.
It has made one quack.
It seems fine. No.
Kiwi.
What did you do?
I didn't do anything. I got on it, and then it was a duck. I don't know.
It's okay. Just promise me you'll not do this to Hildy, okay? That's all I got.
I don't know how I did it at all. I'm laughing as me, the player, but it's like kind of a nervous laugh.
Are there
Okay, well,
are like the knights and people around like seeing this happen?
Yeah, I mean, there are like occasional workers walking by being like, where did that? Okay. And then, did you see that? Like, and then they just go about their business and some of them are laughing.
How are we ever going to be inconspicuous ever again?
we aren't.
Maybe it'll go back.
Gideon sees that this is actually really starting to bother her and stops laughing.
I'm sure it'll go back.
Would I know if it'll
if
go
it-
back or not?
I think I make her make an Arcana check for me.
Oh,
Hey,
14.
Let's just give it some time.
So, based on Elowin's roll, I basically say that with how fast the effect came on, it'll probably just leave as suddenly.
Okay. Well, Nell, just, I guess if it's okay, be careful while you're riding it.
No. No, have you ever ridden a duck before?
I think you might be the
You
first.
answer yes to this question.
Like as you're like talking to her, like Nell's ears are like bright copper as well as her cheeks. Like she's so embarrassed. Like just sitting on this duck, like is not holding onto it, just like fully has like her hands like up, like doesn't want to touch anything. Be like, this is, oh my god, this is literally the stupidest thing to have happened, to have to like say some stuff about me. My
And
magic
the
is.
duck's head cranes around.
The duck looks at me.
Yeah.
Shut up! My magic is fucked. Okay, it's fucked up, and I don't know why. So sorry. And then I think she starts
just-
bawling,
yeah.
like fully
no.
she's
I like-
weeping.
I like
come
ride
over.
beside Nell and just like put an arm on your shoulder.
No way
I'm
I
like-
can reach up on top of this
Yeah.
duck, but I'll try.
like patting my like thigh.
Exactly.
Well, it's all right, Nell.
It's not. It's there's something wrong with me, and I don't know what it is. But why is it a duck?
Hey,
She's like
there's,
hysterical.
there's something wrong with everybody, and we're gonna figure
Yeah.
it out. Okay?
There's something wrong with the world. It's so normal.
Yeah, there is.
If you don't go anywhere, it's fine. If you stay in your house or you
Like-
go out.
No, staying in your house isn't fine either.
Here, give me like 5 minutes, okay? I'm gonna put on a pot of tea for you, okay? Let's just relax, okay? I'll be right back. Gideon gets out his cook's utensils and gets some water from the barrel and heats it up and gets out some herbs from his herbalism kit and starts making some tea.
Oh, I just given Christy inspiration.
I already have it. Can I roll to make my duck be a horse?
Oh, and Gideon also casts calm emotions.
That's
Make
a
me
good
a
choice.
charisma save. If you unless you don't
Can
want
I
to
let it happen?
Yeah, you can let it happen. Yeah, and Gideon returns with the tea and he says, now, I brought you some tea, and I hope that just take a minute for yourself. Think about this. It'll pass, as everything does. And he hands you the tea.
She just like clutches.
Don't worry about that. You know, you're the first person I've ever met who's ever ridden a duck in full chainmail. Now that is impressive. And he hands you the tea.
You're so nice.
Sometimes. He smiles.
And she's just like holding on to the cup like a lifeline. Like her like knuckles are like white.
Maybe
He says, "Oh, here, one more thing." He takes off his hat. If you want to wear a fancy hat, while you ride the duck.
Life sucks so bad.
Oh, what is happening?
Fucking joke. She's like kind of like weeps, laughing, like hiccuping kind of at this point. Just like, yeah, over the fucking hat.
Gives you his
Why?
hat. He pushes his hair back. Yeah, it suits you well. Enjoy the tea. Take a minute.
Okay.
Oh, Jesus.
Oh man.
Jeez.
Yeah, Gideon will stand by you as you drink the tea and make sure that the calming aura around him is you're firmly within it. As he stands by and just sort of looks out at the landscape and checks in with everybody, looking around.
It's like,
Pulls out his playing cards
Yeah.
and plays them while he waits.
no, probably not the time right now, but if you ever want to talk about what you're experiencing with your magic,
Yeah.
I'm all ears. They're quite big.
I came to Starcross for you to talk to you because my magic's broken. So yeah, please. I think you
When
get the
we
impression
set up
that like
camp tonight, we can have, a nice chat.
okay, and like
Now,
it-
how comfortable do you feel with riding this thing?
I'll do it. It's fine.
Okay. You don't have to.
No,
We
it's
really don't. We can just lead it along until it turns back.
I'll ride it.
okay. Please ride it. I'll walk with Hildy.
All right.
Someone has to drive the cart. Ellen, can you drive the cart?
Oh,
I
that's
can-
right.
I can drive the cart. Unless the cart turns into a truck.
All right. So here's the thing with that.
Don't touch Hildy.
Don't touch Hildy. But I'm sure that here, and Gideon hands you a scimitar handle first. Touch this.
Okay. I'm holding
fine.
it.
It's fine. Right? Yeah, you
Yeah.
can sit on the cart, touch the reins. I'm sure it's fine. It'll be fine.
She does the most awkward, like, dismount from the stock. She's like, kind of like tenses her legs and just like slides off in an effort, like, not to touch it.
Is there a non-awkward way to dismount a duck?
Yeah.
I guess we'll never know. But
Gideon,
yeah, I think
No.
everyone gets the impression like I'm fully the youngest member of this party, and while I've tried so hard to be stoic, I'm 10 days into being out in the world for the first time.
Yeah.
Yeah. Gideon asks for his hat back. If
Yeah,
you're,
the duck riding hat.
yeah, I need it. It's part of the getup.
Yeah.
He puts the hat on, and he will climb aboard the duck, and he'll pull out his scimitar, and he's like, "Tell me this looks great," and he'll say, "Yeah," and the duck.
It looks great. As a lot of us are, maybe riding things that you're not comfortable with. Let me just, especially Nell, I don't know how much carriage, transportation that you've had to do. Just like take a moment, get everyone comfortable. I start going through just like some basic animal handling stuff for a bit before we start setting off. Talking with the animals, especially the duck being like, "You, sir, are probably going to have the hardest time of us all as you are used to having 2 feet." But over the instruction, how many do I get to give it to? Everyone apart from Abe feels much more confident in their animal handling for the next minute.
Nice. Gideon's gonna take this thing for a spin.
Now,
Let's see how fast you are.
Nell walks up to Hildy and just like touches her mane
You touch Hildy's mane.
and then just like strokes her a couple times and buries her whole face into her like neck.
Drac will pull out the book that Elwyn wrote, and open it up to the part about carriage control.
It's a metaphor.
Drax like, this has nothing practical in it.
You know, I thought this would help, but reading it now, it has nothing to do with carriage control. Elowen, you should really be more specific about what you're writing.
I'll remember that for the next book. Yeah.
so Gideon is just riding around on this chocobo.
Oh my god.
Yeah, how's
What
that
is that?
baby handle? What kind of horsepower it's got?
I don't know, Danny. How does it handle? Fast?
Yeah, I mean, you're able to ride it like a horse.
Hell yeah. Gideon returns.
It has the same stat block as its horse form.
Oh, yes. Gideon's flying. And he'll come back, and then you'll see him sort of prance next to you on this, like, giant duck. So am I like the duck knight now? What is this?
You're the
Duck nut is pretty funny, yes.
I like Duck Nut.
The duck nut.
Yeah, I think you're the duck nut.
You know what? That does sound a lot better. Who else rides a duck? And he'll ride ahead.
I'll
Like,
get into the
I-
carriage.
A detached part of Nell's brain is like taking a mental image to sketch this in her journal later.
Yeah, we need some character art of this moment.
Oh my god, yes.
I was thinking the same thing.
Gideon waving his hat around, the feather breezing in the wind as he rides this giant duck.
Amazing.
Oh.
And so, at this point, they...
Yeah.
Hit the road.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Nell is driving the car, but she's like pulled her hood up and over, and it's just like, please do not look at me.
So, you guys begin traveling again, and it's about 8 days to Balesville.
You're gonna say 8
Oh.
days that the duck is a duck for. I was like, holy shit, that's so long.
The Duck Knight.
And I think we make a joke about the Duck Knight returns.
Yes.
Ooh.
The Duck Knight rises.
We can go
It's too
on
much.
and on.
Yep.
As you guys continue to travel, the landscape is less desert, and it's more turning into these hilly grasslands. And I think at the end of the first night, by the next morning,
Oh.
yeah, it's no longer a
So
duck.
can we still call Gideon the Duck Nut?
Yeah.
I think now he's just the nut.
He needs a duck.
I misspoke, but it'll stick, I guess. You try saying Duck Knight 3
yeah.
times fast.
Waking up this morning, what you notice is that as summer has now been kind of underway and stuff, the flowers in Ria's viney hair have started, there's more of them, and they've started blooming more and stuff, and it's much more colorful.
I like the hairdo, Nazaria.
Oh, thanks.
Where did you find those
I
flowers?
like it best at fall. They just grow.
That's wonderful.
If someone takes one, does it hurt you?
As much as like getting your hair pulled out does. Like I like pluck one and give it to Nell. It's like,
She like sniffs it and then puts it into her journal with the other like clippings from the greenhouse. Are they orange in fall?
yeah, things start to get a bit more fall color.
I like orange. I say like the biggest knob in the world.
it's
I like orange.
a lovely warm color.
And continuing on your journey, I think I eventually get one of them to roll a d10 for me. Oh yeah, I think we start with Gideon rolling the d10.
Yes.
For me.
In stereo.
And now you turn into a duck.
Now I am the Duck Knight. Where's my D10s? Why are they all at the bottom? I swear I play Cthulhu. All right, there we go. Okay, D10. That is a 4.
So they continue traveling, and eventually the dirt road that they're kind of following ends up meeting with this secondary road heading west. And that road is much more like compacted, like it's much more maintained. And this is the Torvale Road. And the short grass is now becoming tall grasses. Like there are sparse trees, there are clouds, like the temperature is becoming cooler, and it's just a more hospitable terrain for some of you. And they go to bed, wake up the next morning, and I have somebody else roll a d10. Apparently it was Azaria.
Yeah. 3.
So they continue their journey along the Torvale Road, heading west. And in amongst the tall grass, like there's just more life up this way. And there are like antelope hopping through. Like there's wildlife, there is a sustainability up here. And I think a few days go past.
How many days out are we from Balesville?
And as we get closer, we're 5 days away from Balesville.
You'll see 5. Gideon is like very jittery and tired and sort of jumpy.
And I get another person to roll a d10 for me.
Why? It's a 10.
Unfortunate for Christy, that was the roll that I needed to
fuck this one up too.
make me trigger her flaw. So I get her to roll a d100 to...
For the record, he didn't say no.
We determine one of her wild magic surges.
Oh, God.
Oh, my God.
The non-harmful ones.
66. 66.
66.
43.
And I am very excited for this to come in.
Oh, fuck me. What does that mean? I hate whatever's happening.
Facial expressions are the best.
Yeah, I've got a terrible poker face. So the days pass, and the weather becomes nicer.
Teni.
Oh.
Sorry. While we're traveling and we pass by other travelers, would Drac be able to interact with them and just like ask if they've seen his brother? Just do the whole like hold up a copper coin, looks like me, but that.
Yeah, so as Drac goes about asking these questions, a lot of them don't recognize or say they haven't seen a shiny dragonborn.
Okay, cool. Thank you.
And as they get closer to Balesville, like the weather just begins to feel heavier. And after a long time of having experienced very little water, and after so long of being in the desert, this is the first experience they've had with rain in a long time. And it's very reminiscent of the day that Nell and Drac met at an inn.
I think while we're walking through this, Drac would just kind of remove his tunic and just let the rain hit his bare chest and just kind of enjoy that feeling as we're walking.
I'm gonna ask him in Draconic as we're walking to be like, that first night at the inn, you were, I guess, meditating in the rain. I saw you at the window. Is that significant to you?
I respond in Draconic. Yes, I've always enjoyed the rain. We don't have a lot of it back home, but every now and then a storm would come through. I find it soothing. And I seem to have an affinity for storms, so...
Gideon takes the
Nice
feather out
reminder.
of his hat, puts it into his vest.
It's a nice reminder. I'm being watched.
What time of day is it?
It's roughly early morning.
Oh, okay.
You'll probably make it to Balesville this night.
We'll make it to Baleville today.
I think as we get closer, I'm doing my best to like keep up small talk with Gideon, like to try and like obviously like not fully distract, but at least like lighten the burden a little bit.
Gideon will answer you with one-word answers.
It's been a long time since you've been home, Gideon, and there's just this feeling of your heart almost in your throat. Like you have no idea what to expect returning home. If it's the same as when you had left it, this isn't going to be a pleasant experience. And for the rest of you, Gideon just kind of seems very in his own mind. But it's not too long before eventually you see houses dotting pieces of the landscape, these rolling hills and this tall grass, and there are fields of cultivated agriculture, of wheat, and it seems you're in the outskirts of a large farming community, and it's a beautiful sight with this rain in combination with these crops. There's different types of vegetables, and you notice a lot of corn amongst them. There's tall and golden. And there are a few farmers out in the fields picking crops despite the rain. And there are farmhouses dotting this landscape. But as you travel along the main road here, you're getting towards a more populated area with these very basic farm type houses, and occasionally you hear the clucking of chickens and the moos of cows. And there's just something very cheerful and very homey about this place. And you can see that there are people here and there running between houses as you get towards the more centralized area of this village. It's at this point that I'm pulling up the map for them on Roll20 so they can see it. And there's this...
Oh, it's so cute.
Actually, cute's a very good descriptive for this town. There's a forest off to the northeast. And there are people, as I'd mentioned, kind of running from house to house as they kind of hold coats over their heads, taking shelter from the rain. And as your wagon passes by, you may see folks in shadows in windows as they're settling down for the night by candlelight. And like some people may be looking out their windows and may see you guys, and they'll like perhaps like give you a wave. And then they just kind of shut the windows as they go about their own evening.
Wasn't waving at you.
Yeah, as it turns out, you turn around and there's another farmer that was waving at that person, and then they see you and wave at you. Well, you lot seem to be from out of town, so if you're looking for a place to stay, you'll want to check out the inn a couple blocks down.
I know where
Thank
it
you.
is.
Well, all right. Well, you have a good night. And as you continue on, as per that farmer's instructions...
Yeah, can I get any sort of sense if this is all like some sort of weird, fucked up like charm or illusion?
I think I get her to roll an insight check. Oh, because she mentioned charm or illusion, I gave her the choice of either insight or investigation.
Am I good at either? Yeah. So for insight, that's a dirty 20.
So what Nell is able to pick up from this is that the pleasantness of this town is authentic, but there is an underlying tension. Like there is something stirring here, and it's almost like a bubble waiting to pop.
So it's like friendly on the surface.
Well, no, because it is unauthentic. Like Balesville is known for its attitude.
Right. Okay.
As Gideon has kind of presented himself as well. But as you continue down in the direction that the farmer had pointed out, you notice that there are the remnants of a burned down building. And Gideon recognizes that this had once been the building for D&R Solutions in this town. And this looks fairly recent, not like it's smoldering or anything.
Gideon hops off the cart immediately, takes out his tinker's tools, and removes the DNR symbol from the side of the cart.
And I think it's at this point we kind of discuss how the symbol is adhered to his cart. Oh, first he makes a tinker's tool check.
25.
Great. So he takes it up very deftly, but yeah, then we get into those details of how it's adhered.
I assumed it was like sort of a plaque of some kind, whether it be metal or wood, and it had like 2 screws or like sort of things that were like either hammered or screwed in. 2 nails or screws that sort of kept it in there.
Yeah, so he gets off the wagon and just very swiftly and very deftly pops it off and then throws it into the back of the wagon.
I guess they're not a fan of free business. Hey, Gideon.
Guess not. Less said about them, the better. He quickly hops back on the cart and keeps driving.
And kind of around the wreckage of this building, you notice that there are a few more Arturian knights. And in fact, they're kind of like watching over this wreckage. But not only that, there is a heavy presence of them in this town. And something I forgot to mention to these folks is that kind of to the southwest of them, there are, not too terribly far away, there are the train tracks they'd been following. But they're made out of a different material. It's an alabaster as opposed to that rose quartz or rose marble they'd seen in the desert. So you've all made your way to the Old Archer's Inn. It's this rustic-looking building, very large. And stepping inside out of the rain, it is a huge open concept space. And there's an upper level, an awning that kind of overlooks it. And there are tables on both levels. And the place is just packed with people. Like there are waitstaff kind of just gracefully floating between tables with drinks on trays, quickly dishing them out and then moving on. And there is a huge bar on the one side of the building, and it's just got these large kegs of ales and beers.
Gideon's looking around at all the people, and his eyes dart very quickly back and forth, and he just looks very confused and a little sheepish, to be honest.
Should we grab a table, maybe? See if there are rooms?
Yeah, we should try to get a room, or 2 or 3.
If we can. This place looks pretty busy.
Yeah.
As the crew is kind of standing around here, a staff member kind of swings by and is like, hey, we haven't been able to serve you right away, but if you can find a seat, go ahead and take it, and we'll come to you when we can.
I'll go find a
Yeah,
table.
I'll go. I'll go look
Yep.
to see if maybe we can get some grub. I'll try and find a staff member who's in between tables or something.
I'll go with Eloin to try to find a table.
So I think for Drac and Eloin, I have them make an investigation check, either giving them the option to both do it or give one of them advantage.
I'll give you advantage.
17.
So with the 17, the two of them have found a table that has approximately like 10 chairs, and they're all filled. But these people are clearly at the end of their meal, the end of their drinks, like they're a bit drunk. So you suspect that you'll kind of be able to hover here and wait for them to leave, which should be fairly soon. A lot of these folks are like humans, dwarves, and eventually they'll be stumbling out of the place.
We can go
Yeah, you
just
just took
kind
me
of
back to
hover
working at
around
the
there.
restaurant.
And Azaria was looking for somebody hovering between tables. I think I used a perception check for them.
16.
So you find a staff member.
Excuse me?
So you catch a staff member who's kind of between tables. Hi, I can't really help you at the moment. I'm just kind of busy dishing these drinks out, but
Okay. Seem a little tight-staffed.
yeah, we are a little tight staffed, but that's the fun, right? The tips are good.
I'll just try and find the rest of the group then.
Azaria, over here. Azaria.
Yeah, you find at this point that they had found the table and secured it, and there are people that are coming over like, is this chair taken? Can we take this? Like,
No, we need them. We need them all. Like reaching my arms out and like grabbing a bunch of chairs, trying to like hold them. Man, this is too real, dog. Pre-pandemic, trying to lock down a table.
Yep.
and eventually Azaria joins the table. The place is just filled with noise, and there are folks at each and every table.
This place usually so lively?
Yeah.
When I last lived here, it was. And then I spent a couple years sort of. He lowers his voice a bit in case anyone's listening. And then a couple years after that, it changed. I don't get it. I don't know why everybody here is, well, happy with themselves.
It's at this point a waiter comes over to the table and asks about, so what can we get for you all?
All 2 ales for me and food, please. Dinner.
Yeah, just dinner for all of us.
Yeah, dinner. Do you have rooms available?
Yeah, of course. You'll want to square up with the over at the bar there. They'll be able to take care of that with you when you pay for your food.
Okay, sounds good. Yeah, just food and water for me.
Whiskey.
Great. Any of you want to start a tab?
Sure.
Great. And the waitstaff eventually leaves. And when they come back, they return with this and they've serve a bowl of this styrofoam white, small, bite-sized food, and it's salty to the taste. And you eat a piece, and you get a kernel stuck in your tooth.
Oh, okay. I get it.
It's my favorite IRL snack. So excited.
Popcorn.
The fantasy of eating a treat.
So it's quite
Balesville
tasty.
special.
Oh. It comes from the corn.
That's right.
Make this.
I don't know.
Yeah, popcorn is one of Balesville's greatest inventions.
Didn't get to learn.
It's never too late to learn something new.
No, is there a library in this town, Gideon? Oh.
Sorry, what'd you say, Denny?
Can I have Gideon roll a perception check?
21.
So as you're all kind of sitting at your table and eating, you notice that there are occasionally folks at other tables that are just kind of looking at you from the corner of their eyes, and if you look over at them, they kind of turn away. They're trying to not be noticed by you, but you see them looking.
Gideon locks eyes with the first one that he catches looking at him, and the moment they look away, he keeps staring. What was your question?
Are there any libraries in this small town? Like any record keepers or anything?
I believe so. He doesn't look at you when he says this.
I
Are you looking at
turn to look at whatever you're looking at.
He's just looking at another table that is enjoying themselves, being raucous and noisy.
Can I try to subtly and ritually cast detect magic?
So I think I have him make a sleight of hand check here.
Nine.
So when he begins casting this, one of the wait staff comes over. Whoa, hey there, buddy. Please, we'd ask that you keep from using magic inside the establishment. Thank you.
Oh, apologies. I'm so sorry. And I pack up my ritual things. Sorry, I was just trying to see if there was anything off.
Good idea.
Gideon, you know that person?
Gideon looks at the waiter.
No,
Anybody
the
knows?
person you're staring at.
Oh. No.
Are they looking at you?
I think so.
We've got your back. Don't worry.
You guys kind of wait in anticipation for your meals, and just the atmosphere of this place, despite being so lively, it's just it's weird. Like, there's this joy in the atmosphere, but there's also an underlying unease. And eventually the wait staff come around and they're bringing all of your drinks and your food. The popcorn had just been the appetizer, and it's just this roasted chicken in the middle of the table with roasted veggies, and in front of each of you is corn on the cob.
Thank you.
Thank you for
Push
the
mine
food.
back into the center.
I'll take it, like snap it in half and give half to Drac, probably. Second biggest eater, I'm guessing.
This smell normal to me?
I think I have him make an investigation check.
And that dice is going to jail.
Yeah, I mean, it seems normal.
Take a little nibble.
Yeah, it tastes good, as you kind of would expect it to taste.
I meant the chicken, but
Oh, I thought he was talking about the corn. Yeah, the chicken's fine.
okay.
We're really into corn here.
We passed a lot of
So
fields
much
on
of
the
it.
way in.
I mean, it tastes good.
The food is quite nice.
So the lot of you just kind of, despite the activity and the festivity in this place, you guys kind of eat your meal in silence. And eventually, the wait staff come back around when you're finishing up your meals, and they begin to take away the plates and the mugs of ale. And when they lift up the center plate with the chicken, a piece of paper falls out from underneath it and floats back down to the table.
I think Drac grabbed it.
I'm very fast.
So when you look at the piece of paper, it's this artistic rendering of a cow's udder, and it looks like there's a couple of farmhands that are milking the udder, and in the font underneath it, the text underneath it says, the kind of in this propaganda kind of way, and I get stuck on this word for quite a while, as I just don't know why. I forget the word propaganda.
Like a proverb?
Finally got it. So the text underneath it reads like, the Ascendancy is milking us of our resources, and if you don't stand for their abusing of us, join us tonight for a meeting. That's about it.
Just kind of slide it around the table, just show everybody.
I'm sorry. Is the symbol the udders? Follow that symbol?
So you flip the paper over, and on the back, there are 10 circles arranged in a larger circle.
Would I recognize that symbol at all from anything?
I think I get her to make a history check.
18?
The symbol has no significance. It's likely just a symbol used for this particular situation.
All right.
Respect.
If I flip the cow udder symbol upside down, does it resemble the mask that person was wearing?
I think they say it resembles the devil's horns or something like that, but I'm joking, of course.
Okay, it's a stretch, but yeah.
Good thought.
Like in a hushed tone, I'm like, if we want to spend as little time here as possible, maybe just start looking for this now. The streets might not be busy too.
We want to
That's
maybe secure some rooms first.
Let's pick up
Just
some
have a
rooms and
place
then we
to-
can go out. Yeah.
All right. I just look at Gideon because he's from here, and then I think better of asking him to do that, and I say, Nell, you're pretty good with people. Do you want to see if you can get us some rooms?
But Elowen already did.
They said we had to go over there and talk to the people to get keys.
Oh, okay. Sure. I'll take my beer with me.
So Nell heads over to the bar, and it's still quite busy at this point. And though the person behind the bar is this dwarven woman with blonde hair and squinty brown eyes, and she's walking behind the counter with a bit of a limp.
Hi there. I'd like some rooms, please.
Oh yes, I'll be right with you. And as she's in the midst of pouring 2 tankards of ale underneath these the keg spouts, and she just throws them to the customers that got them and shuts off the taps, and a little bit of the alcohol falls to the floor. And then she comes over to you. Yes, sorry, what can I do for you?
Oh shoot. 6 rooms. I guess I'll just look back and be like, That's not how I asked you to. It's 6 rooms. Thank you. Would be great.
How many do you have in your
6.
party? Okay, so yeah, you could do 6, or you could do 3 rooms at 2.
3 rooms.
Okay, so if you're looking for 3 rooms, you're probably looking at about 8 gold pieces. 8 gold pieces for the night, for the whole party.
Okay. Do we pay now?
Yeah, you can pay now and then give you your keys. And
I don't have that much money.
I can pitch 2 gold for.
I'm just gonna look over you guys and be like, come here.
I'll come over.
Yeah.
It's 8 gold, and how many did we? I said 3, but did we want more than 3?
3 double rooms? I think that's okay.
We
Okay.
can share.
That sounds fine.
Okay. Just gonna
I'll give
I'm gonna-
2 gold.
8 does not divide nicely between 6 people.
no.
I'll put in 2 gold.
I gave myself 2 gold.
Anthony out here hacking the system.
I'll put in 1 gold. I'm a little low on gold, to be honest. with
Yeah,
you.
I'm quite poor, so I will also put in 1 gold. And now I have 5 gold.
How much do we need?
8 total.
8 total.
There we go.
We're at
Okay.
6.
I'll put
Oh,
it
I
to-
can. No, I'll put in 1. You can put in 1.
Okay.
Dark feels a little bad having given away that expensive loot for apparently nothing. So
Yeah, you think? Yeah. I think like Nella's like blue screen trying to like figure out like who she's rooming with. She's a little like, should I chip in more money to get a single room? So
We
How
can room
about-
together.
just
I
so
can room
cute.
with Abe.
I thought you.
Everyone else seems a little on edge.
I mean, I can room with Abe.
I don't think you should.
Okay.
look at Gideon. Eh?
Gideon sort of just
I also don't want Rhea in a room with Abe. Wait a minute.
Abe kind of grumbles and walks out the door.
Look, I don't know what you want from me.
It's okay. I'm gonna turn.
I'll go and follow Abe the second that he starts to leave.
Yeah, I'm gonna turn to the woman and just be like, much would it be for 2 doubles and 2 singles?
So to do 2 doubles, 2 singles, you're looking. It's a little bit more expensive because you're getting the solo room. 10 gold pieces.
Okay. So we've already given you 8, so I'll give you the other 2 to make that happen.
Excellent. So I'll hand you the keys. 4 keys. Unfortunately, those of you in a double room will only have 1 key, so try not to get locked out.
That's okay. Yeah, you and Rhea can room together, Elwyn, and Drac and Gideon, and then I think Abe and I could just be separate.
That sounds fair.
And then I'll go back. I think I'll also go outside to where Rhea and Abe are to give them the keys.
So moving outside,
I'm sorry everyone is being
We are
uncomfortable.
not evil.
I never said that you were. You have been helpful, kind to me and to everyone else from what I've seen. I think they're just scared.
Come out at this time and be like, here you go, Rhea. You and Elwyn are bunking together. I hope that's okay.
Okay.
I think we can all, or I would come out too as well. We're all going to explore the town.
I'll stay inside with Gideon unless he decides to leave.
Gideon actually just remains at the table.
Okay, I will stay with Gideon.
And Abe, his key, and be like, for what it's worth, I'm not. It would be fine to room together. I just,
It is fine.
it's more about me than it is about you. I hope that makes sense.
He just kind of shrugs.
Yeah. Then she'll just kind of like look around, like see if she can find any circle symbols.
It doesn't look like Drac and Gideon are coming.
Or did we are we leaving? Or I was just handing out the keys. I thought we'd drop stuff off in the rooms first and then go.
Whatever.
I guess I'll pop my head back in and be like, do you want to, and I'll like kind of like have like the note and be like, follow this or stay here.
Gideon,
What?
we should bring stuff up to the rooms and then maybe follow on the lead we found.
Yeah. You see, Gideon has been sort of rubbing himself in different areas the past like 5 minutes, staring into his drink.
Come, friend. You can take your drink with you.
Okay. Takes the drink, follows you.
I just take a look around as we're leaving, see if any more prying eyes are watching my friend here.
Make a perception check.
Not rolling well tonight. That's gonna be 13.
It seems everybody at their tables are kind of in their own business. So you're all outside now. What do you want to do?
I'll start looking at maybe like sides of buildings and stuff to see if I can see any of those symbols. Or on like there's like signposts maybe like etched into the side or something.
I think I have Azaria make a perception check.
Can I help? I can give them advantage.
14.
So you don't have to go far. It's not necessarily on this side of the building, but as you're walking around the side of the inn, you notice on the ground, amongst the cobblestone, the patchy cobblestone of the road, there are 10 stones arranged in a circular fashion with a puddle around the edge of a puddle.
We might be on the right track. Do any of these stones have like an indicator of maybe a direction on them, like, or maybe on that piece of paper, like do one of the circles look slightly different to point away?
Make a perception or an investigation check.
Oh no.
As low as I could roll.
So while the paper itself disintegrates as you're kind of comparing the symbols.
Wow.
While Ria's looking around, would I be able to now ritually cast Detect Magic?
Yep, for sure.
Okay, I'll begin to do that.
And I kind of like wandered, I don't know, down the streets kind of to see if there's any more of these symbols around here.
Sure, go ahead and make an investigation check.
9. I'm good at this.
Same.
I think
Would I be able to see? Sorry.
so. Nell or Elowin wanders off a little ways, and just due to the rain, it's a bit more difficult to gauge.
Wander back to the
What
group.
happens if I try to pick up, like, from the direction we came, the stone that would be like the furthest forward from it? And then just like see if there's anything on it.
I thought this was an interesting idea. But Azaria picks up the stone, and you flip it over, and there's nothing there.
Whatever direction Arlowen went, can I go the opposite? Like if it's like straight ahead from the stone circle, try and find another one.
Sure, I believe we do a perception check with disadvantage due to the rain. Well, honestly, that might have been one of the previous rolls.
10. So rainy.
Oh yes, it must have been disadvantage. Yeah, so you wander ahead, and you don't.
Would I be able to potentially, if this circle is in the mud or the dirt, would I be able to potentially find any tracks leading away from it?
Yeah, absolutely. Make a survival check.
I forgot what my bonus is. 22.
Oh wow, yeah. So You walk a little ahead past where the circle was, and you see, thanks to the rain, that there are recesses in the shape of footprints in the mud, and they're slightly filled with water. So you have a bit of a track that you can follow. Kind of heading in the direction that Nell had been investigating.
I will begin to follow them and say to the group before I just start walking away. These tracks seem suspicious.
Abe is onto something. Let's go. I'm gonna start to move quietly behind Abe.
We can try.
I think I have everybody here roll stealth checks with advantage.
I will at least.
Sure.
I'll give it a shot.
Yeah.
With advantage?
Yeah, I add that because of the rain making
Okay.
it easier.
Nell will fully take up the rear, so she will like try and like keep an eye over like behind us just to see if anyone's following us or not.
Nell,
Look, I'll touch you and cast guidance on you to try to give you a little bit of help as we wander our way through these streets.
Thank you.
I got a 7. I am too focused on the tracks.
17.
23.
Also 23.
Am I
Damn.
just rolling straight now, or am I still rolling with disadvantage?
Yeah, Christy rolls a straight roll because she's disadvantaged with her heavy armor, and advantage because of the rain.
So it rolled it automatically off of D&D Beyond. Which is not helpful.
So the whole lot of the crew here begin to try and move a bit more quietly through the rainy streets. And as they're heading on the heading that Abe had followed and picked up, the path kind of leads them through alleyways behind houses and kind of meandering a bit ways before returning to the main road. And at a point, it clearly is that the path is leading them toward the forest.
Do I detect magic up and running at this point?
Yeah, your detect magic is up.
Oh, and I'll
Did
cast
I-
Mage Armor if it's been a while.
Did I notice anything around the inn as we were walking by there?
Oddly enough, no. You didn't notice any magic.
Okay.
We've taken a long rest, right?
Yeah, it's
It's
been
been several
It's
days.
been like
Yeah,
6
since
days.
that fight. Yeah.
I guess as we get closer to the kind of where we get to a point where it is rational to assume this continues on into the forest, I'll just sort of stop and look at the rest of the group. Pursue or leave?
I think we could just go in for it.
This
I
is
think
why
pursue.
we are here. Gideon, how are you doing?
He's looking everywhere but at you. Do we know what we're going to be dealing with here? Or?
Well, I can sense the magic ahead of us. If there's something weird, I will know.
Okay.
We will keep you safe. Do not worry.
Okay.
We've got you.
So you all begin moving again? As you begin moving into the forest, the rain begins to lighten up as the canopy above you acts as a kind of umbrella against the rain. But the path is still a bit muddy, and the forest is pretty dark. And you're walking for a few minutes, and I think there's a point here where I get them to roll another stealth check for me.
I'll cast light on my holy symbol.
Be careful. We don't necessarily want to announce ourselves.
I uncast light on my holy symbol.
I cannot see.
Right.
I can lead the way.
We'll be right behind
And what I'll do is I will take the rope from my pack, and we can all just hold on to this.
you. Oh, we're like a bunch of kindergartners.
Yeah.
I'll stay behind, just like the group, just because I can still see, so that way I can see if anyone's like getting off track. So
Yeah, I think I have everybody make another stealth check this time. I don't remember if it's with advantage or not.
Yeah, it's an 18 and a 4. 7.
16.
No tracks means
Eight
stealthy.
is
Gideon
better.
became stealthier.
That's right. I did disadvantage for the...
I can only focus on one thing at a time, guys.
That was with disadvantage?
Yeah, it's 17 and an 18 on
Yeah.
the dice.
You're
We did disadvantage for the people who couldn't
Gideon's just getting more and more uneasy. He's getting more and more cautious and afraid.
So the train of you begin to move into the forest, and some of you who are having a more difficult time seeing,
Splish, splash, I was taking a bath.
those of you who have a difficult time seeing, focus on your steps more, whereas Drac steps in a puddle. And eventually, the trail comes to this meadow, an opening up in the forest, and there's this large log cabin that's built out here. And it's got this porch with a couple of lanterns lit on the deck. It looks like there's light inside.
Do we see anyone? No? Okay.
So there's nobody on the deck. But there's a light inside, and you can see shapes in the window. There are people home.
Do I recognize
I'm
this
alive.
property?
It may have been the house of an elderly couple in the community, but at this point, since you've been gone, they've probably passed away and probably passed the house on to a younger family member.
Can you all wait here for a second?
Where are you going?
I just want to try and sneak up and see if I can hear anything inside.
Let me telepathically connect us before you do that. Beep boop. Click this button. Click that button.
Let me
We
be
got
in your
3
mind.
hours of telecommunication.
And I will quietly try to make my way up to the house. Trying to avoid areas that the light from the window might catch.
I believe we carry over with Azaria's previous stealth check of 18, I believe it was. And as you approach the house and you step onto the deck, and how is it you're trying to listen in?
I just want to get to, you said that we could see like some of them by like a window or like through the window.
Yeah.
Yeah, I just kind of want to like huddle down below it and crawl my way along the deck and then just like be near there and see if I can hear anything from in there.
So, I think I have Azaria make a perception check for me. Oh, no, I just say you hear from inside. So, apparently the individual inside is quite loud, and they're talking, it sounds like they're talking to a large group of people. It's, the Ascendancy is clearly not what. It is taking Balesville for advantage. They're sapping our resources, and it is about time that Balesville becomes the new centralized power. And this voice continues on about the Ascendancy and its lack of failing as a leadership, and just how Balesville should be the new center for governance, as it is a more centralized location. and people inside are cheering, and then they quiet down again as he continues talking this voice.
I will relay this to Alwyn. I mean, I can at this point knock and say that I saw the flyers.
If you think it's safe.
I mean, I can't imagine that they would just attack anyone saying that they're posting these around.
Okay.
And I'll go up to the door and give like a toot 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 toot. And the taps.
On the other side of the door, it opens a slight peak, and you can see below your height there's an eye poking through, and a dwarf answers the door, and is just like, just
I
waiting.
had received one of the flyers.
All right, come in then. And he opens the door for you, wide enough for you to enter.
I make my way in.
And you enter into the space, and it's just clearly this is just somebody's home that they've like let all these people into. And there's like a dozen, maybe 24 people in this room, and they've just crammed into the space. There's people in the kitchen that is nearby there, and you're just in this living room. There's furniture, there's a small table and like 3 chairs and a fireplace. And standing in front of the fireplace is this very old looking dwarf. And they've got this silver braided beard, and they just look so terribly old, like sunken eyes, deep wrinkles. They've got this white hair that's slicked back, and it looks like the clothing they're wearing is more of a dark, almost black like leather. And you recognize, Azaria, due to your age and your proficiency with history, that this is hero of the desolation and folk hero to many, Kardrak Mithrilcoat. And that's what we're going to pick up next time.
What?
What's that?
Oh!
What is it?
So
3 of us are like, oh shit!
yeah, I mean, I'm going to be explaining a lot here, and I'm probably going to be talking over players. But Kardrak Mithrilcoat was a significant NPC in the last campaign I ran in this setting. So there's going to be interesting developments.
Obviously.
Apparently.
Anyway, I'm going to stop the stream video here and return to the my face recorded. So I just want to thank everybody for sticking with us in this episode. Unfortunately, there was a lot of real good roleplay and descriptive narrative that ended up getting lost, and I did my best to like summarize it and repeat phrases where I could, but like the interaction with Setwi and Targul, that was unfortunately a lot better with the original capture. But know that in the future this shouldn't happen again. Like, this audio lesson has been learned. But yeah, I greatly appreciate you guys sitting through all this, and it may be the next stream might be more of me kind of explaining history and lore of this world, so as to kind of make these NPCs that the players are reacting to make more sense for you guys and why they are significant, and maybe we'll do some fleshing out of people's home locations that haven't been visited yet. But yeah, so thank you all for coming out here. I'm still very excited where things are heading with this campaign, and until next time, may your games and may your players play dicely. Bye.